Hi there, welcome to day 4 of Crafting with Black and White. Today I am joined by my friend Audrey, and Audrey and I have known each other longer than I've known anyone else in this video series this week, so I'm really excited to be pairing up with her. She's wonderfully talented, so be sure to check out her video today. I am going for, I'm starting off going for a more subtle color scheme today. And I fail miserably at it, and in the end you'll see what I mean. I just love color, and I love bright, vibrant colors, and so it seems like every time I try and do something pastel or neutral, it just ends up that I bring color in. So you can see where I'm starting with my direction here. I am starting with kind of a mint green with the black and white, and it stays there for a while and then it explodes with color. So what I am using here is a finger craft knife, and I am going through this black and white patterned paper. It's from Bella Boulevard, and I am trying to cut out the petals on the flowers, 3 or 4 of them on certain random flowers throughout, and I'm cutting them, and then I'm going to pop them up and curl them under. As you can see, I did right there. I curled them under, and I put that same mint green color cardstock underneath so that when they're curled up, it still shows a pop of color underneath. I had been looking at this paper all week as I was playing, and I kept thinking, what can I do with it? What can I do with it? And all of a sudden it came to me, oh, I could use my craft knife and pop up those petals and it would look really neat. And it does. It adds a really unique dimension. Again, time consuming, but what part of scrapbooking really isn't time consuming? So if it creates a beautiful layout, then it's certainly worth the time. I am using now a patterned paper from the newest Chamel collection from American Crafts, and this one had a whole bunch of big words on it, and I am cutting out love from it to use as part of my title. Now, I originally start with this monochromatic title, sticking with the mint green color, and this is where I'm still thinking, oh, I'm gonna go with this soft green and this black and white, and it'll be a real soft monochromatic layout, and you'll see the layout title does end up changing a little bit. I do keep part of it, but I get rid of part of it also at the end. So to play up the outlining that is happening in the word sweet and love, I'm going ahead and outlining my patterned papers there that are underneath my photo. I do, again, I love to outline because it makes things pop, but there's always room for error when you outline, and so I am doing it pretty early in the process so I can correct as needed. I am using some sprinkle enamel dots from Doodlebug Design in that coordinating mint green color and adding those to each of the flowers, and then I'm also adding a black border from their Fancy Frills sheets. That is just to add a little something extra to that other side there. And then here's where I decide, you know, I really think I want to add some color. So I am using a whole bunch from the Bella Boulevard Bloom collection, which is one of their illustrated faith ones. And I am using a combination of cutting out flowers from a patterned paper from them, as well as using chipboard pieces from that same collection. And I am adding in a pop of a bright pink, kind of a coral pink almost, and then it has lighter pink and yellows and oranges and orangish red, so lots of color coming in. And what I am going for is starting with bright florals down there underneath my picture and then building up diagonally across the layout. That is kind of what was going on anyway with my flowers that I had cut and popped up. And so I felt like I was going to continue with that and keep some motion going in the layout. It's a little bit tricky with the patterned paper, finding them, the flowers on the patterned paper were overlapping the border, and so finding out how to make them fit onto the layout was a little bit of a trick, but I think I was able to achieve the look I was going for, tucking things underneath and tucking them underneath some of those petals. As you saw, I did right there. I tucked a portion so it looks like there's just a flower popping out of there. And this is the pattern paper I'm talking about. I will have a thumbnail of it on my blog if you want to see it up close. I have used it on something else and I really loved it. I actually used it as the base for a layout. And today I'm obviously using it just to fussy cut some flowers. The flowers in this are messy watercolor painted flowers, is what they look like. And just a really cool artistic look to them. And you're going to see how I'm going to bring some of that in with some gelatos here in just a minute because I need some additional color. One thing I did make sure to do is overlap some flowers in that bottom right hand corner as well as that top left corner, which I'll be doing here momentarily, to keep that diagonal motion going throughout the layout. I am combining so many different companies' papers on this layout. I've got Bella Boulevard, I've got American Crafts, I've got let's see, the behind the picture is My Mind's Eye. It's actually from their Christmas collection, Sugar Plums, I think it was called, something like that this year. So lots of different companies going on here, which is really fun when you can pull from a bunch of different places and make it work still, because sometimes that's hard to do within different companies. Sometimes the colors are just too off and whatever, but this is one of those cases where I think it really worked well. So now I am just adding a few more little touches of flowers in here and just kind of eyeballing where I think it needs more pops of color and such. This is always, you know, you kind of sit back and look and say, okay, do I need more? Do I need less? Is this getting crazy or is it not enough? Always kind of one of the challenges of creating a layout. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is using my gelato, and you could see there in the right hand side I was just testing to make sure the yellow wasn't too bright for what I already had on there, and I am just putting basically a yellow blob throughout, and then I'm going to go back over with my makeup sponge and smear them so that it looks like a circle, and this is going to mimic some of the watercolor flowers that were on that patterned paper. And then I am also going to use a black watercolor twist pencil to add a little center to it, again, to mimic those watercolor flowers from the patterned paper. And I will link you up on my blog as well as in the comments below to where to find those watercolor twist pencils. They're really fun. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit more gelatos, and I am also going to add in some enamel dots and a few more little things just to add to the feel of this layout. Now you can see here I'm kind of playing around still, seeing if I want to put on butterflies or what I want to do, and ultimately I decide I don't want to keep butterflies on there, but I do add in some red gelato. And that was just because I felt like the red needed a little more of a presence in there. So same concept as before. I'm just making a smear, if you will, with my makeup sponge. And then I will go back and add in a little black dot to the center of those. Not a complicated process, and certainly doesn't need to be exact for the look that I'm going for, which is a great thing with gelatos. You can't really be too terribly exact with gelato, so you want to be in the mood for just getting a little freedom in there. And that watercolor pencil, adding that to the middle, watercolor twist pencil, sorry. And then I am going to pull in some orange with enamel dots here momentarily. But as you can see, I decided I wanted to change up the title. I wasn't crazy about the monochromatic title after I added color to the layout. So I happen to have the word love also in chipboard with this bloom collection. And so I am adding that on there using my laser square to make sure and get things straight. And then I did keep the sweet and I just moved it down a little bit. And I like the way that the love brings in the pink and unifies the whole layout that way. Otherwise it was just a little bit lacking with the monochromatic look. So I think this really adds something special to it and makes the title pop as it should. The last thing I'm going to do, as I've mentioned a couple times now, is I'm adding in some enamel dots. These are just some orange ones from Doodlebug Design. I will finish things off today by showing you a close-up of the layout. Please be sure to leave me a comment and become a subscriber so that I can enter you in my giveaway for a $20 gift card to scrapbook.com. And also make sure you pop on by and visit Audrey over at her channel. She's got a great video today for you as well. Thanks so much for being here today. We'll see you tomorrow.